All right, I wanted to make a follow-up video to my last video about the deep winter hen house. And also there'd been some shorts, some YouTube short updates there on the new cock in the house, Brewster the Rooster, Blackie Bruce. We had Brownie Bob, he's been crushing. So he's been the new rooster. So I want to give you guys in this video a little social update on the dynamics of the hen house, because I find it quite entertaining and hope you do too. All right, so I did a whole video on this winter coop thing, this whole thing, my winter coop setup. So I'm not gonna talk about that. Go check that video out if you haven't seen it already. But so far, overall, it's working fantastic. Even today, it's been cloudy all day, and it was mostly cloudy yesterday. Got a bit of sun at the end of the day, but mostly cloudy today. Still collected 10 eggs, and that's with the new rooster. So I had a couple short videos, giving an update about, I brought in a new rooster, Brownie Bob there. And then 3 days later, I brought in his brother. We're calling him Blackie Bruce or Brewster the Rooster. It's a toss-up between one of those. My kids are going to pick and decide. But we've narrowed it down to those two, and so we like those names. So basically, these hens, there's two successions of hens in here. These ones here, we got in April, and then these ones here came about a month later. So they're about a month apart, but they're still, what is that, 6 months old or something like that. And we started with a lot of roosters. Like we had 42 birds at the beginning and 16 hens. Okay, so you do the math on how many roosters that is, but it's a lot. Long story short, we got rid of all of them except one, and we called him Big Ben, and he was the quintessential cornflakes rooster. Just incredible, healthy, big, dominant, but a real gentleman, an honorable, dominant alpha. Really, really good rooster. And but he bit the biscuit, he chewed on some gravel and died. So he's no longer on the picture. But and so ever since he died, I like a good rooster. Shitty roosters suck. Most roosters suck. They're terrible. When these hens, when we had all those roosters and these hens and they still weren't laying yet, or laying much, I should say, they're transitioning, it was just rape and torment. It was brutal how horrible and just tyrannical roosters are when they're in large groups and there's you haven't weeded out all the bad apples. But once we narrowed it down to Ben, I was just absolutely amazed on the social dynamic of the flock and how chill it was. And a good rooster is a gentleman. It'll let the hens eat first. It'll protect them. It'll actually govern sort of little squabbles that the hens might have. And then he has his way with them, and he gets his cock on, and it's all good. So Ben died. I wanted to get another rooster, and I thought, I want to get a different breed just to see what happens, because I'd like to breed these birds and have more hens, and then I'd like to keep bringing in new roosters per flock, because I don't imagine you can get, they say, 4 years out of laying hens, I think. But I'd like to keep mixing it up and keep experimenting and breeding and having fun with it. So I brought in Brownie Bob there about a week ago now. And before I brought him in, I had this whole thing set up. So maybe just a couple days after this was set up, I brought him in, and he shows up, and he couldn't believe it. His coop at home was a really small coop that was in shade and was fairly cold. The birds weren't laying. They're younger though too. He's Brownie Bob and the other guy. They're both September birds. They're a lot younger than these hens. But so anyways, he shows up here on a sunny day at the end of the day, and it's probably 25 degrees Celsius in here, and it's like a party. And could you imagine being one guy going to a party? It's like Florida spring break party, and you're the only guy, right? He's just, what? He thought he was going to go to the slaughterhouse, got kidnapped violently, and stuffed in a box, driven, up a big long hill, and he shows up to this. And so he was just immediately, he tried to just get his roost on hard right away. He was like, this is a gravy train. He got overly excited. He tried to just get in there they weren't having it. I remember in the first 5 minutes, they ganged up on him and just hammered him. And basically, he spent the next couple days kind of adapting, but kind of in the corner. And just kind of, then he realized, okay, this is gravy. If I just play it cool, this is going to work out really well for me. And so that's essentially how it's gone. So we've had him for about a week. We had him for 3 days before I brought in his brother. And so anyways, so Bob is stoked. He's like, once he warmed up to the scenario, it's like, yeah, these birds are a little more experienced than me, and they're not going to put up my shit. But if I just play it cool and just do my roost, do my thing, I mean, life looks pretty sweet. And so that's kind of where it was. Then I brought in his brother because I thought, okay, I want to just add some more genetics. I don't mind. I like to see the social dynamics. And you know what? If he sucks, he can just go to Rooster land. I just take him outside of the fence and he can go try his luck in the wild. Oh, look at this. This is great. See, look at that. They don't take his shit. This is funny. So basically at this point, Bob is totally cocked. He's crowing at 3:30, 4 a.m. every day. He crows multiple times in the day. He mounts these birds. He has his run of the shack. Basically, he's totally cocked right now. That's Brownie Bob I'm talking about. Bruce here, he's totally cucked. He's totally cucked. So basically the way I see it is, he came in to a gravy scenario and he's like, wow, could it get any more perfect? Then his brother shows up and he's like, well, that's cool to see my brother, but it's like, hey, Bob's saying to Bruce here, it's like, hey, this is how it is. This is my show. I'm the cock here. You can have your share. You can have your slice. Don't get greedy. Play it cool. Don't be an asshole. And everybody can have their piece. And Bob's going to have more because he was here first, right? He showed up first. He figured out the social dynamics first. And Bruce should just count himself lucky that he's not dead and that he's still in a gravy scenario. Let's say he only takes 1/3 of the hens on average. He's still doing pretty good. So that's kind of where we're at. Bob is cocked. Bruce is cucked. But I'll keep you guys posted as the social dynamics update. And, maybe Bruce will step up. We'll see. I mean, the eggs I collected 10 eggs today, and this is Bruce's second night here. I collected 10 eggs today. So that's pretty sweet. So I can say so far, his presence hasn't stressed the birds at all. And Bob knows what's up. And see, look at that. They respect him. Bruce, he's got to earn it. And he's got to kind of maybe watch Bob, learn from Bob, wait for those right opportunities and just play it cool. Check out my site fromthefield.tv. It's where I post all my vlogs and the vast majority of all my content. All right, guys, we'll see you in the next one.